Glory to Ukraine, shouted protesters as they occupied Independence Square in Kiev, Ukraine. Violence, fire, and war is not the intro to a Hollywood film, but has been a real-life problem for the people of Ukraine. Today I will discuss the key factors which lead to the violence, fire, and war in Kiev, Ukraine. First, we will discuss how the protesters stand for moving with the West European Union and current government leaders, wanting to move more toward Russia. Second, we will introduce key players for both sides. Next, I will describe the violence and peace, fire and peace. Finally, we will see the edge of war, Russia's takeover of Crimea. The citizens of Ukraine stand up for what they believe through protest. I have studied news reports on CNN, MSNBC, and news reports on various online news agencies, such as BBC News, Reuters, and Associated Press. Ukraine is a country located to the west of Russia, with Poland, Hungary, and Romania on the opposite side, and the Black Sea is the south, with a small country to the south called Crimea that is central focus for the Russians. Kiev, Ukraine became the capital city after the Ukrainian National Republic declared independence from Russian Empire. November 2013, protesters began occupying Kiev's city hall with an anti-government movement. The Ukrainian people wanted a partnership with Europe and open up trade for more economic growth and better political ties. Vitaly Klitschko, a famous boxer, is one of the voices for opposition moving for a European Union. Vitaly Klitschko wanted to limit the president's powers and restore the Constitution to what it had been in previous years. President Viktor Yanukovych wants to side with Moscow Customs Union. President Yanukovych chose not to sign an agreement with European Union, creating an Eastern Partnership that would have established closer political ties and generated economic growth. Russia had threatened trade sanctions and higher gas prices if Ukraine went through with the partnership. If they chose the Russian Union, they would get steep discounts on natural gas. Fighting began between police and 20,000 protesters, while the priests were attempting peace in Independence Square, reported by CNN.com. Weapons of convenience were used by the protesters. Some used Molotov cocktails, setting buildings on fire. Protesters set barricades of tires on fire to keep police from getting to them. Others used rocks and bats to arm themselves. Weapons used by police were stun grenades, riot shields, and rifles known as AK-47. Priests would walk in between the protesters and riot police and pray to help bring about peace. Whether it is war, peace, or a Russian invasion, the people of Ukraine will take a stand. Russia's current plan is to occupy through war, if necessary, the country of Ukraine. The United States has started to issue warnings against war to Russia. The people of Ukraine want a European Union, whereas people of Crimea, a country connected to Ukraine and surrounded by the Black Sea, allowed Russia to take control of their country and side with the Russian Union. An election was held for the people to decide what they would like their government to go. All the while, the military was beginning to set up along Crimea's borders. That was reported by BBC News. Political conventions are strong with citizens of Ukraine for a pro-European Union. They want more say into their government to create better political ties and generated economic growth. While the Russian government wants to have more control over its people, one of the key players, Vitaly Klitschko, was going to run for president, but instead had decided to support who he says is better man for the job, Petro Poroshenko. Weapons of fire and bullets have destroyed buildings around Kiev's Independence Square. Protesters are still standing on their convictions and trying to elect a president that will speak for them and help their cause. Russia's government continues to try and bully the people of Ukraine by threatening war if they do not come under a Russian Union. Everyone should have the right to a peaceful life, with some control on how they live. Their life should be free of the governmental controls. I would like to quote Father Ivan of the Ukraine Greek Catholic Church. Now, especially in Ukraine, we can see that churches and other religious organizations may differ from each at some point, but as well, we are all people.